Greetings, brothers and sisters, and people of goodwill. You know, many of the people that are detractors of the reality of there being a Black ancient Egypt would have everyone to believe that it really is an issue of the Black or the Afrocentric scholars and that of the European scholars or mainstream scholars. The notion being that these Afrocentric scholars are making stuff up. They're making up the history that they purport to be as accurate. And, you know, it's one of those things that you kind of have to ignore because if you are oriented towards evidence and being evidence based, you simply have the evidence, irrespective of what your color is, what your race or your nationality is. Either you have the evidence or you don't. Every once in a while, we'll run into scholars of all races, nationalities, and ethnicities who do have the academic integrity to speak the truth, to speak the facts, and to back up those facts with evidence. Dr. Bruce Stewart is one of those scholars. He's a professor of mathematics at Murray State, I believe is where he teaches. And I want to run this clip in a classroom setting where he is talking about what the ancient Greeks said, not what Chuck Penn's opinion is or what someone else's opinion is on the race of the ancient Egyptians, but what the actual ancient Greek writers wrote, predicated on what they saw and what they knew at that time. I want to run this clip for you. Check it out.
That's one of the things I would most like you to come away with from this lecture. First of all, you cannot study the Egyptians as an archaeologist or as an astronomer or as a philosopher or as an anthropologist. You must put it all together because they put it all together. If you read what the Greeks said, not what we think, but if you read what the Greeks said, they said they got everything from Egypt. They got all their knowledge from Egypt. Pythagoras spent 15 years in Egypt. And what did he have to do? He probably had to spend 5 years convincing them that he was worthy to get the knowledge that they had. Remember, knowledge was power. Knowledge was sacred. Knowledge was something you just didn't publish in the newspapers. Knowledge was guarded very closely because it was of tremendous value. You wouldn't give it to anybody. You would give it to somebody who was willing to shave his head and be a penitent for 5 years, and then you might start to tell him things. Okay? And the Greeks did this. Pythagoras did this. Other Greeks did this. And they said that they got all their knowledge from the Egyptians. Now, when did we come up with the idea that the Greeks created everything from scratch? Well, believe it or not, it happened in the 18th and 19th century. And it's an unfortunate fact of life that Romanticism, which has many great things about it, also has a dark side, which has to do with racism. And in the 18th and 19th century, it was decided that it was just not appropriate for all this knowledge to come from an African country.